savant from rowing to boxing. He taught me his first jab, his first right hand, and he's been working diligently behind the scenes with Joe to fine-tune his style. And what I'm seeing on a daily basis, what he's doing in sparring, you know, he's sparred hundreds of rounds with Joshua, recently sparring Hugh Fury, Gorman. He's been in with everyone. He's actually off tomorrow to Las Vegas to spar with Bermain Stavern, former heavyweight champion of the world. So you can't look at this guy as a zero fight novice. You know, as far as I'm concerned, watching him, he's a genuine heavyweight contender. But you guys don't know that yet. One thing I wanted to make sure was Ian Lewison had ample notice for this fight. Had 11 weeks notice to prepare. I've seen it, for instance, when he fought Dylan White, he had very short notice, with 3 weeks or so he wasn't in the best shape. So you didn't see the best Ian Lewison. I wanted to make sure we get the best Ian Lewison so we have a real fight. I believe my guys are going to win. I know Don Charles is a very good coach and will make sure his man with ample notice is in fantastic shape. So you've got a genuine, real fight. Top of the bill, and it's free to air on Dave. I believe everybody tuning in is going to get a great night's entertainment. I know what I believe is going to happen. I'm sure Ian Lewison has other ideas. As I said, he's a seasoned campaigner. He's been around the game as long as I have, you know, and I'm confident. I'm happy that the fans are. As soon as the fight was announced unofficially a few days ago, I was getting calls going, is this right? Is this really happening? Yes, it's happening. And you're going to get the opportunity for free to watch, you know, Joe Joyce, the juggernaut, set his career in motion. And also you've got, you know, Willie Hutchinson, you know, a young guy just turned 19 years old. He's been out doing some great sparring out in Germany, in Hamburg, Germany, with some of the top amateur kids, and for me, he's the guy coming through. Who's, you know, he reminds me. I was talking to Merker, who works with Haymaker Ringstar, and he reminds me of a young Joe Calzaghe. Very different style, but the same intensity, the same sort of mindset where no one can break his heart. No matter what you do, he's just going to keep coming. He's going to just throw everything at you. So also, you know, MVP. You know, we all saw last weekend Conor McGregor's very decent effort against Floyd Mayweather, but what we're going to do with MVP is something very different. We're not going to throw him in there against the very best guy in the world straight away. You know, we're going to, you know, build his career because he wants to be a genuine world champion in boxing. He doesn't want to just jump in for a novelty factor. I believe I've seen him in sparring. You know, Ismail Salas also is very, very, very excited about him. You know, world 10-time kickboxing champion, undefeated in the MMA world. He has all the attributes to convert to boxing, and this is what this journey is going to be. So, and obviously O'Donnell, Mucha as well, another great, you know, welterweight fight for the English title, the British title, Eliminator. You know, O'Donnell's at 32-1, 16-1, a real fight. This fight's going to be action-packed. So for people, you know, if you don't get tickets to the fight, you can tune into the fight, you know, live on date for nothing, and people will get a great night's entertainment. That's what I wanted of his first event. I wanted to make sure that everybody, we wanted to set the tone for these events moving forward, and I believe everybody who's heard about the lineup is very, very happy. And that's my promotion spiel done. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And I know, you know, the boxing purists are thinking, okay, what's this big guy? How good is this guy? Well, you're going to find out on October 20th.
Well, Don Charles, you're going to be the chief strategist in the corner for the top of the bill event, coaching Ian Lewison. When this fight was put to you for a man of Ian's ability and experience, facing a man making his professional debut, what were your thoughts first of all, and how keenly did you take the contest?
Yeah, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate David Haye for his new setup as a promoter, Haymaker Ringstar. And then I must also thank him for giving us this opportunity in the sense that when Steve Goodwin called me and told me that Joe Joyce is making his debut, professional debut, and then elected to fight my guy Ian Lewison. I said, Steve, are you kidding me? He said, no, I'm being straight up. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. I said, I was expecting him to say next week or week after, because that's what we usually get for this young man. This is, I must say, I've been working with him for 5 years. Yeah. This is the longest notification for any fight. This guy has contested for the British title. We had 4 wins for that one. Okay? We never get given this kind of notice. So I'm still scratching my head every day I wake up. Is this for real, in the sense that nobody gives us this sort of notice? So yeah, I'm also thank you guys for your braveness in making such a decision. It's either a very naive decision or you're very, very clever guys, or both. So basically, yeah, what can I say except for we're going to take this opportunity. I wouldn't have definitely not chosen to fight in Lewison for your debut. I know Joyce, I respect George, he's an Olympian. In my opinion, he actually won gold at Rio. He got, I think I'm so sorry, he got denied of his gold medal. Look what Amir Khan had done with his silver, because he too won silver. And look what he did with silver. So I'm hoping for Joe, I wish him the best in his journey. But I'm afraid he will not be successful on the 20th of October against my guy.
Just elaborate on that before we move down the table and hear from Joe's manager, Adam Vardy. Again, it is a very steep learning curve that Joe's been presented with. Why are you so confident that your man's going to come out on top? How do you ensure that the experience that Ian has is the significant defining factor on the night? What strategies do you put in place to make sure that Ian's experience comes to the fore?
I can't go into detailed strategy, I'm sure they're the same. The fact is, I've actually followed Joe's career as an amateur. I'm a boxing coach first and foremost, but I happen to specialize in heavyweights. I know Joe more than Joe knows Joe. It's my duty, it's my job to study him. So therefore, without being arrogant, I just can't see what you can do to be effective against my guy. Not against Ian Lewison's style, no, he's a renowned puncher. Yeah, he's a renowned puncher. This guy comes to fight. That's why they call him Mount Lewison. He's very exciting. Okay, so I just can't work it. I'm just hoping that you guys after today, please, don't suddenly say, oh, you know, something's happened, you can't fight. All right? Please turn up on the 20th. At first I was a bit insulted that they actually, because I rate this guy highly. I rate him high, this heavyweight Ian Lewis, I rate him very highly. It's almost an insult that they've elected to fight Ian Lewison as a deputy. Then I've taken it, you know what, it is what it is. We've got to make sure that we present ourselves being given adequate notice, so we have to capitalize on that. Strategy I'm not going to go into because it is what it is. That's what their own strategy. So it wouldn't be right for me to start. The strategy is to go and knock him out.
Let's turn to the man who will be in the opposing corner against Joyce as he makes his professional debut, and that man is Ian Lewison, nicknamed Lay 'em Out, from the World Boxing Club in Brixton, South London, England international, distinguished international amateur career, solid career as a professional. You've had more notice than you've ever received for a fight in your professional career to date. What type of difference is that going to make to your performance? And I suppose before we answer that question, what were your thoughts when you found out and discovered that you were selected as the opponent for a man making his debut in the professional ranks?
To be fair, when I first heard it, I was thinking to myself, is he really going to choose me for his first fight? And then kind of took it as an insult. But to be fair, I wanted to give him a beating for that long. But as it stands now, I owe him a beating for making me get here so early today. And honestly, in all honesty, I see this fight, they refer to it as the juggernaut, but anyone who reads comics and knows about superheroes knows that it's once the juggernaut starts moving, he can't be stopped. But the fact is, he ain't going to get in his rhythm to start moving. I'm going to lay him out before that happens. And that's where the term lay him out comes from, it will be. I'm going to come down upon him like one of the wraths in the Bible. You're going to hear that. All I can say to you is, come the 20th, you better put some lamb and blood above your oar. So I'm coming for you, man.
And given that you've had so much notice, more notice than you've had to this point in your professional career, what type of difference is that going to make to your performance come fight night?
Yeah, it will make a big difference, but as it's been stated and as it's known, I've never really had much notice, and you know what, I'm taking fights at fights, and it is what it is. But this fight here, I know who I'm fighting, I've had adequate time to train for that opponent, So bearing that in mind, knowing that I was training for one specific opponent with time, I think that maybe the worst mistake they could have made was giving me time and motivation. The motivation being, they chose me for their first fight, which I see as an insult. So I'm just working with the cards I'm dealt. And the cards I'm dealt is I've got him on the 20th, and I've got time to train for it.
Well, Joe, I know you're a man who likes to do his talking inside the ring to let your performances and your fist do the talking for you. But first of all, how excited are you about making your professional debut? And then your thoughts on facing such a formidable, experienced opponent for your first outing under the pro lights?
Well, yeah, it's exciting stuff. Can't wait to get back in the ring. It's been since the Olympics, right, the last 4. And you know, it's a challenging opponent in Lewison, but you know, with my new training and sparring, I feel that I'm confident in, you know, going into a bit of the deep end. But I'm a good swimmer, so I think I should do well.
All joking aside, you've been the 5-round distance against elite fighters. That's what World Series Boxing is all about, in case you're not aware. It's the 5-round format going against the top boys from the Olympic ranks, and they go over 5 rounds, and I've covered most of Joe's contests in that particular competition. What was noticeable was that as the contest went on, Joe did indeed get stronger and would wear out the elite amateurs, who would generally be gassed by the pace that he set and the punches he's landing over the first 3 rounds, and then go to town in rounds 4 and 5. But here, Joe, that's only the halfway stage, so we know you get stronger, but potentially there's another 5 rounds to go. How prepared are you to go that extra distance? We know you're doing it in training, but as any of these men will tell you, training, sparring and training and boxing under the lights on the night is a different thing. So how confident are you can go the 10-round distance if necessary?
Well, I'm confident in my training and my ability, and I think I'm known for my engine, so you know, I can handle like 12, 15 rounds, no problem, so you know, it should be good.
Ian's suggesting that your nickname's a juggernaut, but he's not going to let you get any time to establish momentum or rhythm. How prepared are you for an onslaught from a pressure fighter of Ian's renown?
Well, I'm an experienced fighter now, you know, I've been to many major tournaments and also the World Series of Boxing, so with that experience I've gained, I'm going to know what to do with Ian Lewison.
Well, we look forward to it. That is top of the bill.
I'm going to say, first and foremost, I'd like to thank David, because over the last few years, boxing has taken a bit of a dive with one-sided boxing matches, and this looks very, very even all over. And this to David and to Joe, I mean, we all know if you've boxed, boxing isn't sparring, and it's been out there that Joe has been knocked out twice and you're going out against a knockout specialist. So I suppose the question is, how confident are you that, you know, if Ian captures Joe on the chin, it's not going to sort of lay down?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Basically the question was how confident I am that Ian, the big puncher that he is, if he detonates on Joe, you know, in his first fight, what will happen? I've seen Joe get hit with big shots before, and he's never been knocked out in the amateurs. I think he got stopped on your feet once after he came out cold. But as you said, this is what makes boxing exciting and entertaining. I know if he has a nice warm up going into the fight, once the train starts going, there's no issues. For me, I've always respected Ian. You know, we've actually sparred with each other on many occasions, and he always gives a great. I've never once knocked him down. I've knocked down most sparring partners that I've sparred. He's got a great chin. That's why I believe this fight will be great, because both guys can take a shot, both guys can throw a big shot. And for me, the 15 fights in WSB was the key for me, you know, because he wasn't fighting guys who, guys who came to lose. These guys were the elite amateurs. If you pick a guy out of the Olympic Games, the final Olympic Games, or even in the Olympics, what it's taken for them to get there, they have to be first, the best in their country. Then they have to win numerous international tournaments to be considered placed in the Olympics. And this is the guy. This guy's been fighting non-stop over 100, you know, international bouts, and you can't make that up with 6-rounders, 4-rounders against guys, journeymen. You know, for me, he's an elite fighter, but you guys don't know that yet. After you see the fight on October 20th, I guarantee you your opinion of Joe changed, and you'll then see what I see now. A lot of people think this is a crazy move you're making, but it's because you don't know why. You don't know what you don't know, and I know. Joe knows. Ishmael Salas knows. Adam Morelli knows. Everybody in the team knows, because we've seen it. You know, and if you look at a lot of the fights aren't online, but believe me, when that first bell rings, you're going to get yourself a great night's entertainment, because Ian's going to be in shape. Don Charles is going to make sure he's in good shape. One thing about Don, he makes sure his boys are working hard. So the longer the fight goes, the better it is, I believe, for Joe. So Ian's going to really need to come out all guns blazing if he's got any chance in this fight. But even if he does, he's been working on his defence day in, day out with Ishmael Salas. Ishmael Salas trained Regondo, he trained Casamayor, he trained some of the best, slickest human fighters. He's working with me daily. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. And I've seen what he's been doing with Joe, and if Ian believes he can go out and hit him on the chin, well, good luck to him, because it's going to be a tough night. But you guys are going to enjoy it. Everyone who buys a ticket, everyone who tunes in on day are going to get a great night's entertainment. So it's a long answer to your quick question, but tune in October 20th. It's going to be great.
And just to fight, are you going to fight again?
Pardon?
Are you going to fight again?
Yeah, I'm going to be fighting again for sure. Yeah, before the end of the year.
But you know what? One thing I can guarantee is that it's going to come out of this fight, though. Yeah, it's going to test David's promotional skills, because after I beat him, we're going to see how he comes back and how he reinvents Joe after this. So we are definitely going to test his promotional skills.
I'm up for that. I'm up for that. A lot of promoters invest a lot of money in fighters, and then want to just completely protect their investment. But I realise by protecting it, it won't flourish, or it will take a lot longer to flourish. We don't have the luxury of time. When Anthony Joshua turned professional, he was 24. Was he 24 years old? He was very young. He was a baby in boxing terms. This guy is going to be 32 when he steps in the ring in October 20th. He's seasoned. He's conditioned. He's not going to get any bigger. He's not going to fill out. He is what he is, and he's been working literally. You'll see. I don't know how to scare anybody, but this guy, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is the real deal. And if I've paid a lot of money for this man's services, and you're going to see why on October 20th.
Wow, so he's starting to worry me now.
Make sure you turn up.
I'm starting to second guess that.
But that's why you can see the confidence. That's why, you know, a lot of promoters would have tried to sneak in 3 weeks' notice, 4 weeks' notice, try to hope that you're sitting on the couch. But I wanted to make sure that you was in shape. I've got respect for you as a fighter, as a human being, and I want to make sure that when the fight happens, you're in great shape, Joe's in great shape, and we have a fair fight.
But you know what, on that sense, in the sense of like the time given, I can't fault him on that. He gave me adequate notice. Everything in that sense was done right, and I'll have to shake your hand for that one day, because like he stated already, it's always been a case of late notice fights, and I've been given adequate notice. Therefore, going into this one, there's going to be no excuses. But one excuse I promise you will never hear from me is I overtrained. But but getting into this one, it definitely will be a good and exciting fight. But I definitely applaud David and his team for giving me adequate notice to make it an exciting fight.
Right.
And secondly, sorry, can I add as well? Yeah, I've also started a GoFundMe page, which is for Great Ormond Street Hospital. You can make donations via my Twitter or my Facebook page. If you can do that to help children in Great Ormond Street Hospital. Thank you.
So we've heard from Ian and Don as to how they think the fight is going to go. We've heard from yourself and Adam and Joe as to how you think the main event, the heavyweight attraction, is going to go. If it goes the way you're hoping it will and predicting it will, where on earth does Joe go next? Which is the real statement of intent you're making here on this debut. If he gets the victory over Ian, he's automatically in the mix for area and British titles. So, where next?
You know, you've got guys like Dale Allen, who's pretty much said he's not really interested in this fight. There is, you know, there's not that many sort of guys in and around the division that, you know, that are in standard. So the only way is up. You know, you can't go backwards. You know, we've got to start maybe looking at, you know, former champions. You know, start maybe looking into America, into Europe. But one thing you can guarantee, all the fights will be exciting. And, you know, I'm looking at Commonwealth titles, British titles, you know, as soon as possible. You know, once you've seen Joe on October 20th, you'll then think, okay, how would he get on for the British title? How would he get on with the Commonwealth title? You know, I believe he's ready for those right now. But this, for me, is a middle gap between fighting for those titles. So after you see the fight on October 20th, then we're going to, if the fighters will fight, the only issue I've got with Joe is people actually wanting to get in the ring with him. You know, or, listen, contact Anthony Joshua, contact Huey Fury, contact anybody's father, say, do you think this guy will be champion one day? And I don't believe any of them will say no, because they've tasted it. You don't know it. It's one thing watching the video and watching a YouTube clip of someone. There's another thing when this 6'6", 18-stone unit is coming at you. You know, so it's a whole different world, and you have to experience it to understand it. And you know, Ian hasn't experienced it before, but you know, although Joe hasn't experienced any in Lewison, trying to lay him out. So that's what makes this event and this fight so intriguing. It's the unknown. People don't know what Joe has. I do, but people don't know. That's why it's going to be an intriguing battle.
Most certainly. Top of the bill on October the 20th from the O2 Arena on its Haymaker Ring Star promotion. Ian, lay out Lewison against Joe Juggernaut Joyce over 10 3-minute rounds is the main event. So again, ladies and gentlemen, any more questions from the floor, please? Yes, sir.
David, Richard and to Joe as well. Richard said on Monday Joe could be fighting for a world title in 6 or 7 fights. Seems pretty ambitious, but do you think that's realistic?
We'll see on October 20th. If it goes how we're anticipating, that's a possibility. Fighters have won titles in world titles in under 10 fights before. You know, so I believe, you know, take fight by fight. We watch how he performs. If he performs how we anticipate him performing, then that's a strong possibility. I don't want to start making unrealistic timelines right now before he's had one fight. Take it fight by fight. You know, we've got our own plan of what we want from him. You know, him, as long as his coach is happy, as long as his management team are happy, you know, we're going to guide him whichever way we believe is best for him stylistically. And regarding titles, there are plenty of them out there. And you know, for instance, we've got Huey Fury and Joseph Parker fighting for the WBO title. You know, Deontay Wilder, he's fighting soon. You know, Anthony Joshua, I think one of the titles may be stripped from Joshua soon. So you know, there's plenty of titles out there. It's just figuring out which route is the right one for Joe. You know, basically, that's it. Although he's 32, you know, I don't believe there's a crazy rush. You know, we don't feel like there's a rush, but I don't think we need to rush him because he's going to just be walking through quality opposition in a real spectacular manner. And I think the public are going to demand these fights, not from us. We're not the ones to be pushing. People will be saying, okay, if it goes how I anticipate with Ian Lewison, then you guys are going to say, okay, how about him? How about him? And then it's all about sort of moving in the right way. We're not going to try and go too fast too soon. That sounds crazy after what I've announced today, but there's no, as far as I'm concerned, you know, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it takes. He's in great shape. He's got no miles on the clock. He's athletic. He can do a backflip. He's keeping up with everybody in the gym in terms of training-wise. You know, for a big guy, most big guys aren't athletic. They can't run. They can't jump. They can't keep the pace going. But I don't know how he does it, but somehow he does it. And I believe that's the difference between Joe and the rest of the heavyweights on the planet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry, heard a lot from David today. I thought it's not a David Haye. I remember you said that Eddie heard one, but I want to hear from Joe. Really, I want to see if what's your motivation, and are you confident? Because we've heard from David, and we know he's a good talker already, and he's got the game. But I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your viewpoint is, how you feel this fight going to pan out. Because, as you know, you've been hit by lesser opponents and knocked down. When Ian hits you, I really want to see how you react. Have you got the heart for it?
Yeah, I've definitely got the heart, and I've definitely got the engine and I've got the motivation and the focus and determination to carry out my goals. So it'll be interesting and entertaining, and I can't wait to.
But your engine's only been for 5-round fights, so
Yeah.
I mean 5 rounds is still quite difficult. But I've seen your fights and you've got a good engine for that. But potentially you could go to deep waters here and get hit a lot harder than you've ever been hit before. Have you got the heart to go through that?
Well, we'll soon see, October 20th.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking right here.